Keeping its national security in mind, India has suspended its railway projects in Bangladesh. This important step has been taken in response to the growing anti-India sentiment in Bangladesh. The approach of former Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was friendly towards India. During her tenure, relations between the two countries had been strengthening. At that time, India had launched railway projects worth around 5,000 crores in Bangladesh to improve the connectivity of its northeastern region with the mainland. These projects include the Akhara-Agartala cross-border rail link, the Khulna-Mongla port rail line, and the Dhaka-Tongi-Joydepur rail expansion. Once completed, these projects would have provided an alternative route to access India's northeastern states, reducing dependence on the Siliguri corridor, also known as the chicken's neck. However, protests erupted in Bangladesh, followed by a coup in which Muhammad Yunus came to power. Since then, if you observe Bangladesh's policies, you will find that it has taken an anti-India stance. For instance, Yunus goes to China and makes provocative remarks about India's northeast region. He describes the region as landlocked, calls Bangladesh the sole guardian of the ocean, and says that Bangladesh can become an extension of the Chinese economy. Obviously, this was a direct attack on India's strategic interests. India raised strong objections to this, and to send a message to Bangladesh, terminated the transshipment facility for its exports. With the help of this facility, Bangladesh was able to trade efficiently with other countries by using Indian territory. But since Yunus is claiming that Bangladesh is the sole guardian of the ocean, fine, then what is the need for Indian territory? Go ahead, be the guardian of the ocean and trade through longer routes. Now, under the leadership of Yunus, ties between India and Bangladesh have become quite strained. So India thought it best to suspend its railway projects in Bangladesh. It is true that, due to the geographic position of Bangladesh, these projects would have been shorter and more efficient for us. But in view of the developments taking place in the country, India had to revise its regional infrastructure strategy. Now India will have to look for alternative routes through Nepal and Bhutan. Compared to Bangladesh, these will be a bit longer, but at least they can be completed. A direct and shorter route may not be available, but by providing an alternative to the Siliguri corridor, we'll at least reduce our vulnerability. So these alternatives will now be explored. The way Yunus is strengthening his relations with China and Pakistan clearly shows that Bangladesh's priorities are now changing. Allowing a Chinese presence at the Lal Monirhat airbase near India's Siliguri corridor, ignoring the protection of minorities despite India's requests, appeasing anti-India elements within his country, creating trade tensions with India while simultaneously increasing trade cooperation with Pakistan and making anti-India remarks. What does all this indicate? It indicates that the chief advisor of the interim government of Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, is not interested in improving relations with India. If that is the case, so be it. India will also have to adjust its actions accordingly. After all, we have to ensure the safety of our investments and our workers. What if there are protests against Indian projects in Bangladesh? Or even attacks? These possibilities cannot be ruled out. Therefore, considering the current law and order situation in Bangladesh, halting our projects there was the right decision. Given the volatile situation, India had to take this step. Now, amid deteriorating relations with Bangladesh, India is strengthening its ties with other regional partners like Myanmar and Thailand. Important projects like the India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral Highway and the Kaladan Multimodal Transit Transport Project are in the pipeline. With the help of these projects, India will be able to counter China's influence in the region, enhance connectivity with its northeast region, and address its security concerns. ASEAN countries like Myanmar and Thailand are very important for India's outreach in Southeast Asia. India has recently upgraded its ties with Thailand to a strategic partnership. This reflects the synergy between India's Act East policy and Thailand's Look West policy. By the way, if you want a video on the strategic partnership between India and Thailand, do let me know in the comment section. Anyway, India can bypass Bangladesh by strengthening its ties with Myanmar and Thailand. By doing so, we can extend connectivity of our northeast region and gain access to ASEAN markets. If Bangladesh has become unreliable, no problem. We'll explore other reliable partnerships.